you're connected?
Well, I've been here in Los Angeles since 1980s, and I have been committed to public service and had a passion for public service even in college. Since being here, I've done graduate work here at several universities, but most importantly, I've had a chance to work with some of the greatest leaders, not only in the state of California, but in this country. I started my career as a field representative with Assemblywoman Maxine Waters and worked up to her chief of her Los Angeles office. After that, I worked with her as her district director in her congressional seat her first term. And then additionally, I worked with Supervisor Yvonne Burke as her senior deputy county supervisor. And so both of those leaders, both of whom have been outstanding, have given me the kind of experience at 3 levels of government that I think makes me qualified to continue to serve this area, in particular Los Angeles City Council.
And in going for this bid, what is it that you think you will change on a local level different than on the state level?
Well, I'll first tell you that what is similar in all public service is a passion to improve the quality of life. What will be different is that the assignment to city government differs in many ways in terms of you're able to often touch and feel constituents closer in terms of public works projects, beautification of the city, transportation, and so that you directly are more involved on an everyday basis as opposed to being away in Sacramento doing big bills or in Washington doing even larger bills. So that would be the difference. It is more hands-on at the city level.
Now, how do you think that the current redistricting that just happened will affect your bid?
The jury is still out on the redistricting because in the process they have a committee, a commission appointed by the city council members. The second phase is the council members vote on a proposal, and they have already. But the third is that the mayor makes a final determination. That has not occurred yet. So we don't know what in fact the mayor will do. He has the option to do some alterations. However, having said all of that, as it goes through the process, I will look at the district in terms of how it will exist and identify both the strengths as well as the weaknesses. I've heard a lot about the weaknesses, but I think we have to also look at what the strengths are. And I will manage from accenting the strengths will be my method of management.
Now, it has been said that the city of Los Angeles is in a bit of a dire straits in terms of their finances and possibly bankruptcy. What do you think as a candidate can be done or should be done or will be done once you're in office to rectify that? And we all know that it can't happen overnight, but what would you start with?
As a legislator, I can tell you firsthand that the state legislature and the state of California hasn't actually easily balanced its very own budget. And all of us know we are in an era where the economy is in question. And certainly, because the city depends upon both state and federal government, it would too. I think that at the end of the day, the same challenge in the state is the same challenge at the city. Getting revenues. How can we obtain opportunities to get revenues that is fair and that is just? What kinds of fees, unfortunately? What kind of taxes, unfortunately? Or what other kinds of means can we employ? Or as an administrator, can we execute? Do we have to reduce services in some areas? I would suspect we'd have to do a combination of those. We'd have to reduce perhaps in some areas where we can most afford to do so. And then on the other hand, we would have to try to figure out how we can generate more revenues to reinvest back into the services provided by the city.
As far as faith, what would you have to say to the Angelenos about running for office?
Well, I think that if you try to move from a position of fairness and justice, that always brings people together, and that certainly has always been my goal, and it will continue to be my goal, to make sure that every community has an equal opportunity to be heard and an equal opportunity to participate, and that when we implement programs that we take very seriously the opportunities that each community needs. And so I think to move from that will help bring people together in the city of Los Angeles. And it is my hope that they will appreciate that method of operating our city government.
Very good. Thank you so much for speaking with us, and good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. I'm here sitting with attorney Renee Campbell, who is hosting the campaign fundraiser for Assemblyman Mike Davis. Hi, Renee. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you today?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for hosting. Tell me, what are the specific attributes about Mike Davis that you like so much? I know you said you've known him for over 20 years. What can you tell us?
You know, Mike is one of the can-do people. You know, you meet people that are going to do or, want to do or, think about what they're going to do or how they're going to do it. But Mike really is a person that you can count on that's going to put into action a plan. And as long as I've known him, if I call him up and I say, Mike, I'm involved in this situation and, we want to do this to try to get some money, he says, okay, tell me what you need. And then he produces. And you know what? When you're trying to work for people that are in need, work for organizations that are in need, and you have somebody like that, it is so important, and it is so important to get things done. And he's one of those people that does it.
What is the one issue in the 9th District, or even in all of the districts, that you would like to see dealt with after this next election?
Well, the 9th District has been reorganized, and Mike, I love his attitude about that. I was concerned when the redistricting took away a lot of the major assets, a lot of the crown jewels, frankly, of the 9th District. And so he has a great attitude about that. He says, that's okay. We have SC. We still have LA Live. LA Live is so important to Los Angeles in general, not only the 9th District in particular, but in general, because LA Live allows LA to become a destination city for conferences. These big conferences that they have, really worldwide, they can now come to Los Angeles and go to the Marriott, go to all the restaurants that are around there, and to our convention center. And I think Mike is going to really take advantage of that and take it to another level. And then if the football stadium comes in, then it's going to really help the economy of the city of Los Angeles. It's going to exponentially. It's going to just take us off the map. And I think Mike is the person that can do that.
So one last thing, I would like for you to look into the camera and give Mike Davis a shout out for his run for city council.
Mike, I know that number one, you're qualified. Number two, you have the resources. And number three, you have the stamina to get this job done. And I'm going to be there with you every step of the way. All right, let's do it.
And that's it for Newswire LA at Assemblyman Mike Davis's campaign fundraiser here in Baldwin Hills. We'll see you next time.
That concludes our interview. As always, you can catch us on Facebook and Twitter, and make sure you tune in to future broadcasts. This is your host, Jamie Wright, signing off.